Welcome back. We are in a completely different location today.
We
We're in,
are.
I think, maybe we're in like the office kitchen, which is great.
Hmm.
And we're here to do some more Tutor Boot.
Love it.
Okay, we're gonna get rocking and rolling. We're gonna be basically really talking about some generational stuff today. And we're gonna start
Excellent.
off with two. I'm kind of like showing them together. Gen X is the
Hmm.
401k experiment generation. Here's how that's playing out. And then we also have meet the Gen Zers maxing out their retirement savings. So what did you think about this kind of like Gen X, Gen Z, retirement savings, 401ks, pensions going
Oh my
away,
gosh.
all of the things?
It's relevant to the stuff we talked about couple eps ago, with loyalty and pensions and whatnot.
Yeah.
Whew, it's a tough topic. I didn't know that I guess I didn't put it together that Gen X is the 401k experiment generation. That was news to me. Or like
Yeah.
it was new to me to call it an experiment for that generation, I guess. I learned something.
Yeah.
Um, I love that Gen Z is like, I'm in my 20s. Hell yeah, I'm gonna save a bunch of money for retirement. Like, good for them. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very into Gen Z. I'll just put it out there. Like, I I have I have this draft for my newsletter that's been in drafts for like since March. I'm now realizing since March, where I just keep adding things that I want to write about how much I love Gen Z.
Oh,
Um, it'll
okay.
be a pretty epic newsletter once I finally finish writing it. Um, but I just feel like they are really looking at the lessons
Mm,
from generations previous and being like, fuck that, we're gonna do
yeah.
it differently. And that is the energy we need right now. In here, the year of our Lord 2024. Like that is the energy we need to actually break some shit up and make real change. And
Yeah.
so like good for them. I am very pleased. There was that one quote where she was like, listen, I'm not relying on Social Security. Like, if you think
Well,
Social Security is going to save your ass, like, you're stupid.
I mean, this
Like,
is the thing
I
though.
remember when I learned that, and haven't been able to impact that much change because by the time
Well,
I realized that that we like really need to be saving our 401k monies, we were also like saving for college funds and saving to
yeah.
try to buy a house, which we still
I
can't
mean,
do. Like,
I mean, the thing
it's
that was interesting to me in reading these is like, I also didn't realize, that, I mean, I did, but like hadn't fully put it together that Gen X was kind of the experiment. And I've been saying this for a very
right.
long time that I am actually very fearful about what retirement looks like for me. The same thing that the Gen
Yeah.
Z people are saying around like, I don't know if what Social Security will be there for me, if anything. I don't know if, in the
Right.
time, because I still have some working years ahead of me, quite a few, and maybe even longer if they keep wanting to extend
Right.
out retirement age and just say like, oh, I know you're
Yeah.
retired in their 50s, but you're going to be working into your 70s. Like a lot of this
Yeah.
is very interesting and scary to me as well, especially, in the time that I've been in the workforce and supposedly, oh, just put all your money in the stock market and it grows and grows and grows. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, the stock market has like basically radically crashed at least 3 times in the time that I've been
Right.
working. So is this the
Yep.
logic? And then to kind of have it
Right.
this way of like, oh, it's the experiment. I'm like, oh fuck, man, I didn't sign up for this experiment. What the shit? Like,
Yeah. Didn't you know you were being experimented on, Stacey? Did nobody told you?
oh
I mean, I've
no.
been saving for retirement since I had my first like job out of college. I think I actually might have been saving for retirement in college. I think I was putting away money into I worked for a UC and I think we had a 401k plan even
Mm,
for like college students. But like, I've been putting away, I maxed it out for a little while in my 20s. And I've mostly maxed out my 401k savings at every company I've been at,
mm,
but I haven't worked at places that have had a match, and so
right.
it's grown more slowly.
Yeah.
And just in general, putting money into your 401k is not going to be enough to
Yeah.
sustain you in retirement, it
Yeah.
seems. And like it's really scary to think about how many of us in the working world are not going to be able to retire.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I would love to retire in my, I mean, I don't even think retiring in your 50s doesn't even sound like remotely possible to me. I'm like, I want to retire in my 60s. Can I retire in my 60s? Like,
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I
even for
mean,
another 20 years? Jesus. 20
yeah.
more years?
I know. Well, I think that that's kind of the thing that's interesting to me too about some of these articles of like, hey, let's do this or that. And it seems like for me, as kind of a the border of Gen X and millennials, so maybe an Xennial, but like Gen X-ish. Um, the kind of some of the solutions when you read these articles are like, oh, okay, so really focus on Gen Z for this and Gen Z for that. And I'm like, great, I want you to make changes, but I don't want you to forget as employers that I'm still going to be in the workforce
Right,
for 20 years. And like, I
right,
don't want to live in poverty. And like,
right,
as
right.
and in the US, like I hate to say it, but the social safety nets aren't necessarily there, or I can't
They
guarantee
don't exist.
be there in 20 years, right? So don't employers don't forget about other parts of your workforce. I know people are like excited
Yeah,
about doing things for Gen Z and like changing the way and the things are the policies and programs and the way we're doing things.
right,
Great, do that. But please don't forget that there are a lot of
right.
people who are going to be in the workforce for a long time still.
Yeah. Well, it feels to me a little bit like when we talk about um caregiver benefits. I like that I just like integrate caregiver shit into every one of these.
Do it.
Um, but you know, over 70% of the workforce is caregivers
Mm.
right now. And the more boomers start to age out of the workforce, the more people in the workforce are going to have like sandwich caregiving needs, where they'll be caring for
Yes.
elders and potentially for children.
Yeah.
Um, And the same way we talk about how creating work environments that are supportive for caregivers benefits everyone, creating financial work environments that are beneficial to Gen Z will benefit everyone. The
Yeah.
like, yes, the benefits of like flexible work and flexible hours and like all this stuff is amazing and wonderful. And I take advantage of it all the time. But like, when we're talking about how can we support Gen Z in the workforce, like look at the ways that it supports everyone,
Yeah.
and things
Absolutely.
like financial education are really important. And
Yeah.
we did a really good job of this at one company I worked for, where we like brought in financial advisors to help people get their shit set up and talk about like, what are your savings goals, what are your retirement goals, what would you need to be pulling out of your paycheck and putting into savings, and what's stable over the long term versus riskier in the short term, and like
Yeah.
educating people on this as early as possible in their careers, and then continuing to support that throughout. There are
Yeah.
benefits like having a financial planner that you can call, that helps everyone in the workforce,
Yeah.
because
Well,
it's not a one, financial planning is not a one and done.
no, yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing is like I see more employers talking about financial planning as a benefit or like having some of that in. But it either to me, it's like to your point, it's not one and done. So it doesn't quite seem like enough. Like you can't just have a yearly thing,
Right,
that's it. And the
right,
other thing is like I also think like that doesn't go far enough if people
right.
truly can't put money aside, right? Or like there's
Right,
so many other things
right,
that it's like financial planning, just education is not enough, right? What are the
right.
other things on top of
You
that?
educate people to realize how screwed they are.
Oh no. Oh,
You give them the
sorry.
education and they're like, oh, I am well and truly fucked. Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Good to know. Good to know.
it
And
goes,
now you need the financial planner to come back and tell you how to unfuck your situation, which might be like you are going to need to change the way you live
yeah.
to support or this income. Like this is, you have to have like real tough love conversations with a financial planner in order to really like make change, because per previous conversations we've had, like you can't rely on your employer to be providing that stability, that that predictable end of career experience,
Yeah.
or
And
even a living wage.
oh,
When did things get so dystopian?
I know. I feel like this took a turn.
It did. We need some toots. Toot Gen Z, you guys are great.
What? I don't even know. I don't even know. Am I tooting this or am I booting it? What's happening? I mean, I think I'm tooting that we're having these conversations more, that it is becoming
Yeah,
more of a something that employers are incorporating, but like there is the boot within the toot, as you I think said before, of like just absolute fear about my own financial
yeah,
and retirement. So woof.
for real, for real. Let's go have a drink.
All right. Oh gosh, I know, right? Okay. I'm gonna go on to the next one. This is another Gen Z
Take
one.
us home, Stacy. Take us home.
Oh yes. Gen Z are the hardest to
Oh,
work with. Oh, the Gen Z must
oh,
shake my generational
those Gen Zs with their like wanting of rights,
I
livable
mean,
work experiences. How
I am
dare they?
interested because you said you're a Gen Z lover, and so the thing that
And
is that kind of stuck out to me about this is like, okay, I mean, I don't know, but what I am the first thing, because I'm always like, what is maybe the other thing that's not being said? And I think for me, one of
yeah,
the other things that's not being said is like everyone, when they come into a new experience, is like has a learning curve and has a fairly
is new at that experience.
right, exactly. And so like
Yeah,
maybe, and they even say they do kind of mention in the article, although they didn't fully like thread it together, that oh, generations are easier to manage as they get older. I'm like, is that because they've learned more about the experience?
right, right, right.
So for me, I'm like, okay, maybe they are currently hard to work with, and maybe that's because they're coming into a lot of new experiences. Like maybe
Yeah.
but what do you think about it?
I think also every generation has complained about the next
Oh
generation
yeah,
since
yeah,
the dawn of time. Like,
yeah.
and right now, isn't it we have the most diversity of generations in the workforce ever? Like we have 5 generations in the workforce right now. So like we're not talking about 2 generations where it's like
Yeah.
us and the new kids. It's like you got a wide range of personalities in the workforce. And I mean, I would actually argue, as an elder millennial myself, um, I would argue that the older generations are harder to manage.
Oh, oh.
Boom. Because they're more, I mean, if I'm
Listening
going
to
to
me,
speak,
Kim, are you?
no, 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 not you, of course. You're a dream. The, if I can speak in the same sort of generalizations that the article speaks in, putting on my I am the author of this article hat, I just have a different perspective.
Mhm.
Um, the the older generations are more set in their ways and more resistant to change, and we are in an ever-changing landscape at work. They also are less likely to want to um, be led by people who are their juniors, and they're not always going to be the most senior person at the table. Um, Taking off my biased journalist hat, putting on my Kim hat. I I have I have been on several executive teams where I am generationally the youngest person on the team, and I have found it very difficult to get respect, to get um, like a comparable level of treatment from others on the team, and I like I have felt patronized too. I have had people tell me that I am complaining about something when really I'm presenting a very well articulated and data driven like I'm like, here's what the data from our employee experience survey says, and here are the things that our employees are saying and what I believe we should do about it. And they're like, oh, you're just whiny. Sure.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay. Would you like me to give you the results from the 40 to 45 demographic, from the 50 to 65 demographic? It's not just the young ones here. But
Ah,
like I
yeah.
I have managed people who are younger than me. I have managed people who are older than me. And um yeah, I'm not going to call out anyone specifically, but I have found that I have a lot more empathy for the younger generation that's still figuring it out, because part of my job as a manager is
Mm.
to teach them how to be a person in a workplace when
Yeah.
you're hiring someone who has little to no experience, or you're hiring someone who is newer to the workforce, especially like let's have some empathy for these kids who went through college on Zoom or went like
Yeah.
have never had a work and it like a work experience before. Like
Yeah.
let's have a little fucking empathy. Because and I found that they are maybe because they're still in a learner's mindset because they're younger, like school is more recent to them. The concept of learning is more recent for many of them. I have found Gen Z to be much more open to receiving feedback, to talking through things as a learning experience than the older generation who is like, I did my time. I've I've learned what I'm here to learn. Like I know best. And
Mm.
obviously, this is a broad generalization. I have had people who I have worked with who are boomers who are fucking fantastic and are learning all the time.
Yeah.
And I have worked with fellow millennials that I'm like, you entitled piece of shit, stop asking me for these things. Um, it's it's I think it's dangerous to paint generations in such broad
Yeah.
strokes, but if we're going to paint generations in broad strokes, I say fucking boot to this article because Gen Z has lived through a hell of a time in their formative years,
Yeah.
and like I am here for the revolution.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm a little bit, I'm kind of the mindset, painting to what you said, painting any generation with broad strokes, I think doesn't really work. It's just, there's so much variation, saying
It does get clicks though.
well, exactly. It gets plenty of clicks. So
Maybe it does work.
maybe my nuanced form of journalism isn't really what what's vibing out in the world. But
Oh, oh
yeah, I
God.
mean, and I also think like it is a lot of the things that kind of get attributed to Gen Z, I think are just, or even, as it was for millennials too, but really like with Gen Z, that it is completely devoid of all of the context of the world of in like the last 10 years.
Right,
It's like you cannot look at some of these
right,
things that are being said about Gen Z outside of the context of everything that's happened. And also even like taking Gen Z out of it,
exactly.
a lot of the changes, like all changes that have happened for a lot of folks, because we've all lived through these last 10 years, like you can't look at the
Right.
changes and then not think about everything that's happened. And so for me, that's where a lot of like
Yeah.
context ends up being
Yeah.
just kind of annoying to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. So, I mean, Kim, they got our clicks. We're going to have to,
I know. We're
well,
gonna
they
have
got
to like
my
donate to
clicks
some charities or something.
and then I forced you to click on it too. So I'll have to take responsibility for that. But
Oh God. I
Uh, this was
know.
this was Tutor Boot Generations. Thanks.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, once again, Kim, it was a delight. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Toot or Boot. You can keep in touch with me, Stacy, on LinkedIn, and be sure to subscribe to our newsletter at tootorboot.com. And if you're enjoying Toot or Boot, we'd appreciate your positive review on your favorite podcast platform.